Did you know that the average person forgets 80% of what they learn within 24 hours? Imagine reading a book, but by the end of the week, you remember almost nothing. Sounds frustrating, right? But here's the kicker, it doesn't have to be this way. What if you could remember everything you read, and even learn to recall it whenever you need? Studies show that with the right techniques, your brain is capable of remembering much more than you think. In fact, world-class memory champions often use strategies that anyone can learn. These strategies don't involve complex tricks or some magical power. They're simple, and they work. In this video, you'll discover how to hack your brain and transform the way you read and remember. From turning information into vivid stories to using physical movement to enhance recall, you'll learn real strategies that anyone can apply. Stick around, because by the end, you'll have the tools to remember everything you read, and make learning feel like a breeze. Chapter 1. Unlocking the power of your brain's memory palace. To truly master memory, you need to unlock the ancient trick used by scholars and orators for centuries, the memory palace. This method is simple. Imagine a place you know well, like your childhood home or a favorite park. Now, mentally place the information you want to remember in specific spots within that place. For example, if you're reading a book about history, place key events in different rooms of your home. This technique is based on spatial memory, which is far stronger than verbal memory. Studies show that we're better at remembering locations and visual cues than abstract concepts. Ancient Greek orators would use this method to memorize long speeches, and today's memory champions still swear by it. What's amazing is that your brain is built to remember locations better than numbers or lists. The key is associating information with vivid, sensory images. The crazier the image, the better it sticks. For example, imagine a giant Napoleon in your kitchen, battling a lion made of books. The more bizarre the association, the stronger your recall will be. This makes memory work like a game of Where's Waldo in your brain, but with things that matter to you. Chapter 2. The storytelling hook. How to engage your memory. The next step to remembering what you read is to make it unforgettable. You do this by finding the storytelling hook. In any story, there's always a moment that grabs you. It could be a dramatic plot twist, a quirky character, or an emotional conflict. Your memory thrives on these hooks. Studies have found that people remember stories much better than raw facts. This is why you might forget a dry textbook but recall every detail of a movie you loved. To create your own memory hook, try connecting the material to something emotional or relatable. If you're reading about psychology, for instance, think of a personal experience that aligns with the theory being discussed. The emotional connection boosts your memory. If you can transform boring facts into a story with characters, conflict, and resolution, you'll never forget it. Instead of memorizing dates or concepts, think about them in terms of a narrative. For instance, a historical event isn't just a date, it's a struggle for power between two people. When the material resonates emotionally, it becomes memorable. Chapter 3. The Mind Map Method. Painting your story with words. The third strategy to remember everything you read is mind mapping. This simple tool involves creating a visual representation of the ideas in your head. Start with a central theme in the middle of a page. Then, draw lines outward, creating branches for main ideas and sub-branches for details. Each new branch should represent a new concept that connects to the central idea. Research shows that mind maps help engage both the left and right sides of the brain, making it easier to store information. One study from the University of California found that students who used mind mapping had higher test scores than those who didn't. It's because mind maps organize information in a way that your brain can naturally grasp. Mind maps are also a great way to track the flow of ideas. As you read, you can jot down the key points and make connections between them. This visual strategy helps break down complex material into bite-sized pieces. Whether you're learning a new language, mastering a technical subject, or reading a novel, mind maps will help you see the big picture and remember the details. If you're enjoying these strategies, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next tips on mastering memory. Chapter 4. Chunking. The memory breakthrough you've never heard of. When information feels overwhelming, break it down. That's where the technique called chunking comes in. Instead of trying to remember a long list of facts, group them into smaller, manageable chunks. For example, when you're learning a long number, break it into smaller sections, like a phone number, 12345678890. Chunking is an essential cognitive tool that your brain automatically uses. The famous psychologist George Miller discovered that the average person can hold about 7 pieces of information in their short-term memory. However, by grouping related items together, you can expand that number. In a study by Harvard University, students who used chunking techniques were able to recall much more than those who simply tried to memorize the information as is. When you read, try grouping ideas or themes into a few simple categories. If you're reading a book on health, for example, chunk it into categories like diet, exercise, and mental health. You'll find it much easier to remember. Chapter 5: The Power of the Mind-Body Connection. Did you know that physical movement can significantly boost your memory? It's true. The link between body and brain is strong, and using your body while you learn can help solidify the material in your mind. Whether you're walking around while reading or gesturing with your hands as you explain something, it helps engage your brain in a deeper way. A study from the University of California showed that walking improves cognitive function, especially when combined with learning. So, take a walk while reading or summarizing what you've just learned. Walking stimulates brain regions responsible for memory and learning, enhancing your ability to recall what you read. Another powerful technique is reading aloud, or using hand movements to explain concepts. The physical act of speaking or gesturing while recalling information activates motor areas of the brain, reinforcing memory. If you're stuck on a particular concept, walk around and talk it out. You'll be amazed at how this can improve your recall. Chapter 6: Recall like a pro. Turning memory into your superpower. Now that you've learned these strategies, it's time to put them into practice. Start small by applying 1 or 2 techniques to your reading routine. You don't have to do everything at once. Start by using the Memory Palace to remember key concepts from your current book. Then, try mind mapping and chunking to break down complex information. You'll quickly notice improvements. The key to mastering memory is repetition. Don't just read once and expect to remember everything. Review your notes, revisit your mind maps, and walk through your Memory Palace regularly. The more you revisit, the better your brain stores the information. One final tip: always try to teach what you've learned. Studies show that teaching others helps reinforce your own understanding. When you explain something to someone else, you solidify the material in your own memory. So, share these techniques with a friend or family member, and watch both of your memories grow stronger. Remember, mastering memory isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. By using these techniques, you'll be able to remember everything you read, not just for today, but for the long haul. So, go ahead, unlock the full potential of your brain, and become a memory master. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more strategies on mastering your memory and boosting your learning power.